evening, everyone, and welcome back here to Bear Force 1. I am your host, FawkesRocks, and we are here for the last but not least run of the night. That is going to be Gunbrella by our very own Ozmourn. Take it away, Oz.
Thank you for that amazing intro, Fox. Hello, everyone. My name is Ozmourn, and today we're speedrunning Gunbrella. This is actually the marathon debut of Gunbrella. This has never been shown off at a marathon before, and so I'm super happy to be showing this off. And we're going to be showing off all hearts because y'all got the incentive met. Sorry for the camera disalignment there. You all did the incentive met to upgrade from any percent to all hearts, and I'm very glad because all hearts was actually a category that was completely routed by me, and so I'm super excited to show off like all the work that I put into this. And before we move on, we have another person here. If you could introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm PluckyStar. I'll be commentating with Ozmourn for this run. I'm a fellow Gunbrella runner and also runner of Doinksoft's previous game, Gata Roboto, but that's not important.
Yes. Yes, this is a game made by Doinksoft. It came out in September of this year, and it got optimized pretty quickly and found some skips that are really interesting to see. Even in the all hearts category where we like fight another boss and like do some more side quests than usual. And with that, I'm just super excited to show off everything that the community has brought to light. And that's pretty much all the intro required from me. We're gonna start here. File 3, erase. This is what our file is gonna look like at the end of the run. This is how many hearts we have at the end of the run, not including the 3 bonus hearts. That's whenever you like eat food that gives you extra health. But we should have 8 hearts by the end of the run. We start off with 4. We're gonna erase this file, and time will begin when I hit easy mode right here. We play on easy just because it's the fastest. We haven't really looked into like category splits with difficulties, but maybe we'll see that in the future. But with that being said, run will begin in 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so Gunbrella, we're gonna actually start off with a very dramatic cutscene here. A flashback to our main character who is named Murray, and Murray has actually, we're about to see a very huge something that his wife wanted him to get, and he sees that his house has been burned down, and soon he'll go into the distance and realize that someone has kidnapped his daughter and has killed his wife. And so this is kind of like a John Wick situation where he seeks vengeance out on the person who killed his wife, and is also searching for his daughter. And the only thing left behind at the crime scene was a gun that is also an umbrella, hence Gunbrella. PluckyStar, is there anything else you want to say about this game before we get into like the real gameplay of it all?
You pretty much set the scene perfectly, honestly. I don't have much more to add. The game is, you're gonna see a lot of cool movement during this run, for sure, and you're gonna see a lot of cool gunplay as well. That's what the game's about.
Yeah, the movement, we kind of compared it to like wave dashing from Celeste a lot of the time. It doesn't work exactly the same, but essentially every time that you touch the ground, like you're able to jump and use your Gunbrella again to gain more and more speed. And after that cutscene, you might be hearing it in my mic because I think I forgot to put on a suppression filter, but I'm actually spamming both the E button and the left mouse button in order to spam through text. That's one of the reasons why running on keyboard and mouse is actually a lot faster than running on controller, only because you have 2 buttons to spam through text instead of 1. And you saw me almost mess up my commentary there because you have to really pay attention to like the dialogue options, despite also like having to spam really fast on your keyboard, because that dialogue option, you just press the same thing over and over again, you'll never leave it. So those are 2 things you're going to keep in mind throughout a lot of the run. Just the way that I'm spamming and the way that I'm moving right now, again pointing down right, and just keep jumping, and then using right click to dash. But Plucky, do you want to like talk about a bit of the combats and some of these enemies that we're going to be seeing coming up first?
Yeah, so the combat in this game mainly involves just getting as close to enemies as possible and blasting them with your shotgun. Because obviously it's a shotgun, it does more hits the closer you are. And for the most part, we're going to be running past combat as much as possible, but there are going to be a lot of required combat rooms. Like this one, for instance.
Oh. And right now, we're going to get 3 rats, and we're also going to get that bandage just for safety later. And the bandages serve 2 purposes. One, like, of course, it heals you and gets you back to full health. But also, if you don't need to use the bandage, you can actually sell it later. And that's really important because we're going to need a lot of money in this run. Specifically because we need a specific weapon that allows us to perform a really cool glitch multiple times throughout the run. And also because we have to buy a half heart in order to get all the hearts in this run. And so all of that combined adds up to so much money. And so that's something that you're going to have to really pay attention to in this run because of all the money running that goes into it. And so right here we got... Wait, go ahead.
Sorry, yeah, no, money is ridiculously important. There was a lot of talk in the early, like, parts of running this game about just how to get money fast, and where to get things to sell for more money, for more of the specific weapon in question, mainly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're gonna probably be... You're gonna see Ozmourn going out of their way for money quite a lot.
Yes. So right now we're at King Station. Now we're at Outer King Station, where we're going to be introduced to these new enemies. These are the basic enemies, also known as like the cult members of Cult 45. And Cult 45, as you can see, is going to be becoming like a very important part of the run and part of the game's lore, because there's like demons and stuff in this game, in case you didn't realize. But first and foremost, we're gonna go over here, and the game is gonna introduce us to another weapon, the grenades. We're gonna be getting this grenade and shooting it over here so we can turn off the door, the power that closes the door over here, so we can continue with the rest of King Station. And so this is also another instance in which I'm going to be going very much out of my way to kill all these enemies, because enemies often drop items that you can sell later, and also get this guy right here. Every now and again, there's like hidden alcoves in each level that will give you a chest that has 25 coins in each of them. There's like 3 of them that you can get before you get the first boss, and a few more later throughout the game that we're gonna see.
Yeah, the nice thing is that enemies also have a slight chance to drop that insane fountain of money. So killing enemies becomes important if you want to manage your money. Like you have to find ways to kill as many enemies as possible without going too far out of your way for it.
Right. And sometimes the enemies will drop rifle rounds, which actually, if you get enough rifle rounds, will speed up the first boss tremendously. And so we're gonna hopefully get a good amount. We seem to be getting pretty good drops. Not any specific drops from enemies so far, but just good drops of money in general. Oh, unfortunate that machine didn't give me a spiral or a spring. All right, so where are we right now, Plucky?
This is Orwell Town. This is the first like major place in the game that we're going to be spending a bit of time in, and also later where we'll fight the first boss. This is it's a town. I don't know what else to say about it, but there's this guy. He's Bill. He's going to tell us a little passcode that we need to progress the game.
Yeah, and I'm actually going to go slightly stinky snake feels terrible. Okay, so I actually went pretty slow on the dialogue spamming there because the passcode changes every time that you play the game. So you actually have to pay attention to what Bill tells you. Okay, yep. And then you're going to talk to Bill's friend over here, and we're going to enter the code that we just heard. Stinky snake feels terrible. All right, wonderful.
Now we're going into the sewers.
the sewers, I mean, get introduced to another really cool enemy called the Gorehounds. Well, we saw a Gorehound earlier, but the sewers are kind of filled with them. Oh, we got a Gorehound felt, thank God.
The good drop.
The good drops. Hopefully we get a lot more of those because those are worth a lot.
Gorehound pelts sell for a lot, so we're going to be hoping to get as many of those as possible from all the Gorehounds we kill. There's another one, even.
Yes. They also drop eyeballs. I don't know what the price difference is between Gorehound pelts and eyeballs, but I think Gorehound pelts typically cost a bit more.
Gorehound pelts do sell for more than eyeballs. Yes.
All right, beautiful.
Frogs can also drop eyeballs.
Yes. Right there was Stuart. We are going to be seeing Stuart twice throughout the run, and that is only because we're going to pass him by. Stuart is very important in the game casually because if you talk to him, he'll ask you to bring back his his gem that got stolen and like hidden in the Cult 45 hideout that we're about to go to. The issue with that is that there's a rich merchant that's sitting outside of the hideout that we're actually going to talk to right now in a bit. He is also claiming that the gem is his, and so the game allows you an option to either give it to the merchant or give it to Stuart. I always give it to Stuart casually because eat the rich, but unfortunately it is faster to give it to the merchant in the run for reasons that we will go into a bit later. But right now we're going to go and leave the Cult 45 hideout because they lock us out, and then just spam talk to the merchant because he will give us a key to the sewers.
Yeah, now that we have the key, we can go back to where Sewer is and open a door that was previously locked, which will give us a little bit of a backdoor access to the cult hideout.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Perfect. Yeah, and over here we're actually going to grab another bandage right here outside of Seward's hideout. Conveniently placed. We're doing pretty good on money. There's another alcove right here that allows you to get 25 coins, and we got another Gorehound pelt. We're doing really good on drops so far.
Getting great luck on those drops.
And I love the movement in this room. We did not get a drop from that fish, unfortunately. Fish will also drop scales every now and again. And we're going to climb up. So this is the hideout. I'm going to grab a few coins here. And these, like, guns right here, got a coil, thank goodness. That also sells for a good bit. But you want to be able to reflect their bullets off of your umbrella. And so that's you can also like kill them the old-fashioned way by shooting them, but like it's not.
Ozmourn, I think your camera has shifted again.
Oh, did it shift? My goodness. Here we go. My goodness, I apologize for that. We're gonna see that a good bit. All right, so the mayor gave us another key that he stole off of a guard. Oh my goodness, thank you. Did the music stop? Oh no, the music didn't stop, it just stopped. So every now and again the game will like kind of glitch out and the music will just stop, especially if you quit the title. That usually doesn't happen here. But I thought it did for a hot second. So what is kind of like the second half of the hideout here, Plucky? What exactly are we doing right now?
Yeah, so we are making our way through the hideout so that we can go and get the cell keys to rescue the mayor of Orwell, who has been locked in jail by the Cult 45, presumably as an act of just general mischief.
Mm-hmm.
It turns out the cell keys are hidden pretty deep into the hideout, so we've got to go through pretty much the whole thing, killing most of the members of the cult in the process.
Yes, exactly. And you saw me enter a hidden code there. The game gives you like a riddle, but it's just like rat, cat, and then owl, and then crow. That's how you like interact with the different. Oh my God! Look at that.
Oh, there's found the money I was talking about earlier.
Because I do not trust my. Actually, no, I can just get a bandage. I was about to go like save, but I can just use the bandage instead. because there's a lot of enemies in this section, and I don't trust myself to not die. Because if you die, guess what? You're going to go back to the next save point, and that's a lot of. Oh my god!
Oh, more money!
That's so much money. We're getting so many good drops today. Okay,
It's that
will this guy give me a coil? He did not. That was a waste of time, unfortunately. I'm not going to kill this guy because killing him takes too much. All right. So at this point in the run, we're going to have a lot of money, and so we should be pretty set for a good bit of the game already, especially once we get into the second half for Junkyard, the second half of the first act, I should say. And the person that you're seeing above us in the cell, her name is Goldenrod. I hope you remember her and get an emotional attachment to her in the next 10 seconds for no reason at all.
No, there's no particular reason that you have to do that.
Exactly.
It's just for fun.
Exactly.
Put yourself in the shoes of someone who really loves Goldenrod for no particular reason.
For no reason at all. It's arguably very sapphic, but it's never confirmed.
Saying I've seen this game before and I forgot what happened, so now I'm scared.
Now you're scared? Alright, so this is the first boss. You saw me grab a grenade before I came in here, and 2 enemies on the way dropped rifle rounds, and so those are both really useful. We're going to spam through this dialogue, and we're going to ask here about... Right? Want some jail keys. There we go. And then they're not going to let us out, of course, but then we're going to kill them. But of course, nothing is that easy. We're going to switch to the grenade here before this next cutscene starts. And
nothing bad's gonna happen at all.
Nothing bad's gonna happen. You know, just a bunch of spirits are gonna possess this giant red gore monster, whose name is Baby. So this is Baby fight. We're gonna shoot 1 grenade, and then we have 24 rifle rounds, which I think is enough to kill him without using the shotgun.
Yeah, so this boss is normally pretty tough, actually, but even in casual and speed runs, because you have to really get in close with the shotgun to deal maximum damage. But with rifle rounds, that's no longer an issue.
God,
as
that
you can
is
clearly see.
That was so fast.
That is so much faster than you can normally do it with only the shotgun.
It does kind of suck that you have to bank on enemy drops to do that. Technically the merchant does sell rifle rounds, but that's too much money to spend too early in the game.
Hey, it's Goldenrod. I hope nothing bad and terrible happens there. Oh,
yeah, and she just got torn up into a billion pieces. And we got a letter that is meant for Scarlet. Earlier in the game, Scarlet is meant to give you a side quest to save Goldenrod and give her the letter that Goldenrod just dropped. We don't do any of that. Canonically in the game, Scarlet is going to give you a side quest later in the game that kind of banks off of the fact that she knows that Goldenrod died. But the game doesn't actually check to see if Goldenrod is it doesn't check to see if you finish that side quest. It just checks to see if Goldenrod is dead. And so we're gonna free the mayor here.
By the way, at the end of the hideout, there would normally have been the part where you would go to get the gem if we were going to do that quest, but we're not going to do that quest.
Oh no, I completely forgot.
Oh, we are going to do that quest. Never mind.
No, we are going to do that quest.
Forget what I said. We're going back for the gem.
Thankfully, it's not. It's right here. It's not a huge time loss or anything like that. We're going to use a bandage because I'm scared. You see, that's the main thing about this this category is that there's 2 things that you consistently forget to do. It is 1, get the gem, and 2, get the motor for later, which I'm reminding myself of now so I don't forget to do it, because that one is significantly more time loss. All right, we got another Gorehound pelt. Okay, so
Gorehounds are being very generous today.
They are. We're getting so much money. All right, here is the gem. Again, the game wants you to give it to either the merchant or Stuart. We give it to the merchant because with Stuart, if you there's a shop later in the game, another version of Bill's Pills that happens in a later town. Depending on who you give the gem to, that shop gets replaced with either Stuart, who doesn't sell you anything, or or the merchant who sells you saw blades, which is a very particular thing that we're going to be buying in a bit, actually.
Yes, saw blades are fantastic, and for absolutely none of the reasons that you'd think a saw blade would be fantastic.
Exactly. So we're going to give the gem to the merchant. And here is a cutscene that we do kind of have to sit through. So, Fox, if you want to say anything right now, it's a good time.
Thank you for that. I am sorry the internet is being bad.
You're good.
At this moment, I just want to remind everyone that we still have 2 bid wars open for The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword and for Wind Waker for the save file names. Both of those are open until tomorrow morning because those are the first 2 runs of the day. Mortgage is still winning with $178 for Skyward Sword, and Yim Yam is winning with $30 for Wind Waker. You still have time to change the tides of those bid wars, so get your donations in by doing !donate in the chat. That will give you the direct link to Happy Bear's Ko-Fi, so you can make a donation. Remember, if you are donating towards an incentive, to leave what incentive you
much. So there's supposed to be a side quest here where you talk to the mayor, and he's just like, someone stole the R in the Orwell sign, so now it just says, oh well. Turns out a little kid stole it and hid it in a chest. The code to the chest is gem, which we just entered right there. And you still, unfortunately, do need to talk to the mayor twice. I guess and skip an interaction. And we're going to tell him that it was called 45 that stole the sign and not the little kid. I don't know if that actually changes anything, but I do it every time for good luck. Because I don't want to, I'm no snitch. And now we're going to go to Allendale. What's interesting about Allendale, PluckyStar?
What's interesting about Allendale is mainly that we're going to be doing almost none of it.
Well, in All Hearts, we do some of it, but also not all of it. We skip like half of it, even in All Hearts.
Yes, so not as much as any percent, my bad, but still, there's going to be some skipping around.
It's true. All right, so at this point, I need to consistently remind myself to buy the motor. At this point is where you buy the motor.
Yes.
So here is Bill's Pills. Oh, I'm sorry. This one is actually called Super Bill's Pills. So we're going to go here to Bill. This is actually a completely separate Bill, by the way. He actually makes a joke about it. It's a common name. So right here, we're going to sell everything that we just have, except for our bandits, because I'm scared. We're gonna buy the motor, and then we're fill up on saw blades specifically.
Oh boy! Here come the saw blades.
Yes. Typically, we would skip all of what I have to do in any percent. But instead, what we're gonna do is we need to talk to the guy around the speakeasy about someone named Merle, who we're gonna see later, or Marl. And then we're going to talk to the Tinkerer, because he knows exactly like who this Gunbrella belongs to. So this is a small cutscene. We're just going to spam through here. The Tinkerer casually actually offers you upgrades to your gun, but unfortunately the upgrades don't really save any time. I'm sure like you have either like a higher rate of fire or like you just do more damage, but neither of them are significant enough to save any real time in any percent. And you go way out of your or in All Hearts, and you go way out of your way to like get cogs in order to upgrade them, and so it's just easier to just bypass them entirely.
Yeah, we originally thought during the first routings of this game that it was faster to get one or even two upgrades into damage, but eventually we just realized that it was taking up way too much money and time that could be spent on other things.
Yeah,
saw blades.
Yes. So right here, we're going to talk to the owner of this. What is the name of this place? I totally forgot. Hostel.
Question.
Yes. It's a hostel. The owner of this hostel, after completing the Oh Well side quest in Orwell, the mayor gave us a deed to a specific apartment here in the hostel, and in that apartment is a half heart, which we just got.
The first of many.
The first of many. We need to collect 8 of them total to get 4 more hearts. 4 of them will be in like the first act of the game, and the second will be in the 4 of them will be in the second act. We're gonna pass this guy. Technically, what we're about to do is a side quest attached to talking to that guy, but the game never checks to see if you've actually talked to him. So you don't need to. All you need to do is do what the side quest requires of you. Gonna knock these guys over because I don't trust them to not hurt me. Here are the most annoying enemies in the game, the bees.
Yes.
I hate the bees so much.
They are going to spawn constantly from these beehives and home directly in on your position.
Exactly. Fortunate, no drops from. Oh wow! I didn't even realize that there was vines up there that you can get hit from. Kill the bee. So this is actually a really hard area. We're now in the Allendale Wilds, only because there's so many enemy interactions here. And as you can see here, I'm going to go up here and then just use my bandage, because if you like it, just there's a lot that we'd have to redo if I died there. We're gonna go underneath this waterfall because the man that we skipped talking to, his nephew actually started hiding because he was running away from the police. And both of those police officers that you saw in that cutscene earlier, they will both be dead by the end of this run. Don't you worry.
The police kidnap children in this game. Just
exactly.
For no reason. They've done for a reason, but it's not a good reason.
You know. All right. So this little kid, we're gonna carry him out to his uncle. It doesn't matter if you try to kill or get rid of these, like kill any enemies or get rid of these vines. The moment that you talk to the kid, all of them just respawn because the game wants you to be difficult. So right here, you just need to take the kid to the end of this waterfall, and then his uncle will meet up with you, and then he will give you 1 half heart and 50 coins. And he's just gonna splur them all out on the floor right there, like that, as any natural person would do. I'm giving you money.
It's all good.
It's all good. But as we get to the second half of Allendale Wilds, we're actually going to just do exactly what we did to get in, but just backwards. So, Fox, if there's any more stuff you want to say right now, would be a good time.
Thank you so much for that. I was really enjoying the run so far. Just want to give a quick reminder to our audience what we are here for. Bear Force 1 is a mutual aid fundraiser organized to help cherish friend of Frame Fatales, Lady Arcaders, and overall Smeedern community, Half Bear. She is crowdsourcing funds to help offset her current medical debt so she can afford a future surgery, as well as newly admitted grad school student funds are tight. We all as a community have all rallied together to create this event and support her. With your donations, we can help change Happy Bear's life and make sure that she can get the care that she needs and live comfortably.
Thank you so much. Now, Lucky, we're going to a new area after we get through this section, the junkyard. You want to explain to the audience what there is in store for us at the junkyard?
Oh boy, so the junkyard or scrapyard or whatever you want to call it is it's an area full of junk and a lot of very dangerous enemies, including a boss fight and a mini boss, and then these guys, the scrappers. We're gonna have to enlist their help. Not right now, but they are gonna be helpful in getting us through this area.
They will be. Their names are Dreg, Marl, who we thought about earlier, and then Brad. Those are the 3 important characters at the very least. I forgot what the name of this police officer is. Do you know what the name of him is?
I don't think anyone knows his name.
Well, it doesn't matter. He's going to be dead by the end of the run anyway. It's fine. So he's just kind of like being a dick to us. And so right here, we're going to go to the entrance of the junkyard where Brad will be like, I need you to get my marbles, but instead we're just going to do that. So what I just did there is a glitch that you're going to be seeing a lot throughout this run. The devs had a little bit of an oversight, and every time you like shoot a saw blade, you get pushed backwards a little bit, and this unfortunately means that this game suffers from the backwards long jump effect, where the devs do not put any cap on your backwards speed. And so for every time that if you shoot like a bunch of saw blades in quick succession, you can just gain more and more speed and clip through functionally every single wall in the game. Only some of them are useful, such as that one right there. And that one is actually one of the harder ones because that requires a full set of saw blades. Typically, and you can carry 49 total. Typically, you only need around 20 saw blades in order to perform any specific clip in the game. The one exception being, of course, this one. And now we're gonna fight someone cool. Lucky, you wanna explain?
Yeah, so we're coming up on the fight against Dregs, who has a few options that we can do, some of which allow us to skip the fight completely, but I don't believe we're going to be doing that.
Okay. Dreg burned himself on fire, which allowed us to run which allows the fight to go a lot faster. Two choices that we just made here is Dreg asked us who let us in, and we told him that we snuck in and that Brad did not let us in. Again, in the canon of the story, Brad was supposed to let us in, but we did just clip in.
Yeah, he definitely did just let us in.
Exactly. I'm going out of my way to kill these enemies because they drop saw blades, and so the more saw blades you get now, the less you have to really worry about it later.
You've seen the power of saw blades. I think you know why we want them.
Yeah, and here's another chest with 25 coins in it. Although I think we're pretty ahead on money riding right now. All right. The game has a nice puzzle here where you have to turn this off and then on again because this junkyard is filled with magnets of scrap that you can use to get towards certain levers and open certain areas. I don't like this at all.
See, this is what I mean by dangerous enemies.
Yeah, I think we're fine though because I'm pretty sure that right here, the game is gonna save. And honestly, I'm just gonna die. I'm just gonna let this guy hit me, please. Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm just gonna let the guy hit me so that my health regenerates because I don't trust myself to like not die later. All right. Thank you. Perfect. There we go. Amazing. There's another chest up there that only gives you cogs, which is useful if you're trying to go for all upgrades, but we don't. It's just a time. What is going on here? Huh?
Oh.
What is he doing?
You're not inputting anything there.
I'm not doing anything. I'm not.
Oh no!
It's fine though. I've never seen that before. That's never happened before. I legitimately don't know what went wrong there. I don't know why he was doing that.
Stable video game. It's okay.
I always say it's not a marathon if nothing goes wrong, or runner doesn't say, "Hey, I've never seen that before."
That's what's supposed to happen.
Every single run I've hosted this marathon, so I don't know if I'm the problem or not.
No, it's cursed. Every marathon is just cursed to have something that no one's ever seen before, or maybe blessed, depending on how you look at it.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, but now that we're back, and that is over with, we're gonna fight a giant rat. Lucky, what is this giant rat's deal?
He's a giant rat. Normally, he would be moving around the arena a lot based on like us being further away from him, facing towards him. But we're gonna just kind of go back here, and he's not ever gonna get a chance to crawl back into his little hidey hole and switch positions on us. So the kill becomes much easier. Yeah. So I believe it's implied this rat is the pet of overgrown pet rat of one of the scrappers.
Yeah. Does it say which one? Do they mention which scrapper?
I think it's one of the unnamed ones.
Okay, yeah. But this So a member of the community did, like in an earlier route of any percent, did find a way to technically skip the rat boss. But unfortunately, there are two heart pieces that you have to get that are tied to the rat being dead. One of which will be given to us by Brad right here. He's going to give us a shortcut out, and on the shortcut, he's going to give us a half heart. And the second half heart that we're going to get is actually right here again, by this robot that is like dilapidated and broken down. He wants a motor, which is why we bought the motor earlier. So we're going to get another half heart here. And then right here, we're going to see me do a very specific kind of movement where I'm going to very carefully jump. There we go. What I just did was I went around a specific audio trigger that would have crashed the game. The way that works is actually a little bit complicated, but I have time to explain it. And is like, since we skipped the main side quest that was supposed to let us into the junkyard with Brad, the audio trigger that like activates Brad's audio never leaves. It's just stuck there. And since Brad isn't there, if you touch it, it'll go to the robot instead, like as if the robot is saying it. But since the robot leaves the screen, there's no one to assign the dialogue to, and so the game doesn't like that, and it just crashes, which is why I had to physically go around it, as you saw there. We're going to sell everything that we got, and we got 13 saw blades, thankfully, so we can save money there. And we're going to fill up on saw blades again, because the clip that you saw me do earlier, we're actually going to be doing twice in two different places in the next area. But now we're going to go to base camp, where we're actually going to see the first instance of this skip. Plucky, what exactly is it that this specific skip, like skips in any percent, both in any percent and also in all hearts?
Yeah, so in any percent, we would normally use this skip to, we call this mountain skip. We would use it to skip both the scrapyard and the main part of Allendale Wilds, but since you have to do scrapyard, this only skips Allendale Wilds. But it still skips it. That's skipping an entire boss.
And it also skips some side quests, like dialogue you have to go through.
That too, yes. A lot of dialogue, because dialogue is long and unskippable in this game.
Okay, cool. It worked. Wonderful. Now we're at Mount Sajeka. It is named after one of the devs, and I love that skip so much. You can see that we only used around half of our saw blades, which is really good because we need to do another skip like that later. And I'm actually going to be a little bit careful throughout Mount Sajeka, because if you die during Mount Sajeka, guess what? You have to do the whole thing all over again.
Yeah, there are very scarce checkpoints around here.
Thank you. And these vultures, I hate these vultures so much. They're so annoying.
They're gonna get in your way a lot, because they like to move in front of where they think you're going to move.
Perfect. Can I skip this, please? Thank you. Oh yeah, perfect. I am feeling ballsy, and I trust myself not to lose 6 hearts between then and the end of this level. So I'm not gonna save.
Risky strats.
Risky strats indeed. I am going to save right before the clip though, because if I mess that up, that's dead. That's run dead right there. Thankfully, there's a bed that you can save in. Also, there's this couple that like was supposed to be at the bottom of the mountain with their child, who's kind of scarring their child by showing him like a bunch of animals killing each other and thinking, oh, it's just nature. He needs to learn about it. But no, he doesn't.
He just wants to chill and admire technology, but his parents are forcing him out on an excursion and watching animals die.
Exactly. I kill these guys. There is a grenade over there on the left-hand side of the screen, but it doesn't really save much time, and it doesn't it's not really useful for the boss either. You could technically save it for the final boss, but like that's so far out of your way, and the final boss is already really fast, so it wouldn't really save as much time as you would get from the time that you would waste from trying to go get it. So I'm going to save right here. And we're saving in a bed instead of usual bench. And if you save in a bed, you get 3 extra hearts. The hearts are temporary, so if you lose them, you can't get them back until you either eat something that gives you extra hearts or sleep in another bed.
Yeah. Only problem is that saving in a bed, as you saw, takes a really long time.
Yeah.
Generally avoid
Okay.
it where possible, but here, okay, good. Got the clip first try. That was why Ozmourn saved there, because that clip can go very wrong.
It can. Typically, any kind of clip in this game can go very wrong. But thankfully, that one went pretty well, and we're going to go into the mines, which is some of the easiest places to take damage, with a full set of 8 hearts.
This is probably
or 9
what I would
hearts.
call the hardest section of the game.
It does feel like the hardest section of the game, doesn't it?
Yeah, you are without your Gunbrella for most of this section, so we're going to be very susceptible to damage because we're just moving much slower, and we don't have a means of defending ourselves.
Exactly. But with that being said, before we get to that part, we kind of have to sit through like 4 minutes of cutscene.
Yeah.
So, Fox, you have like 4 minutes to say whatever you want.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we love cutscenes. Well, yeah, as hosts, we love cutscenes. It means we get to talk. But yes, just wanted to thank everyone for being here. Just because this is an amazing event where we're supporting Happy Bear, an amazing member of our community, and it's always great to support other people, especially those that we know personally. I know many of the organizers and other staff members and runners all love Happy Bear, love what we're doing. So, and we love you, chat, and the donors who are helping support Happy Bear and her health and her dreams, because that stuff's expensive and it's not easy. So we are grateful for every single cent that you donate, and we really appreciate it. If you do want to donate, do exclaim donate in the chat, and you can also do exclaim incentive to see our open incentives. We currently have Bid Wars open for the first 2 runs of tomorrow, which are both Zelda games. So those are great. Definitely donate towards those. If you would like to donate towards an incentives, make sure that you include what incentive you are donating towards in your donation comment. That way we know where's money going, and we can make sure it goes to the right place, because that's really important. But ultimately, all of your money is going to supporting Happy Bear and helping her just be better and live a better life, and we really appreciate that. So thank you so much. Again, exclaim donate in the chat to get the direct link to Happy Bear's Ko-Fi, where you can submit your donations. And that's pretty much all I have to say at this point.
Yeah, no worries. You cut off that like half. You filled up about half the time we got here, which is good.
We do have about another 2 minutes left of cutscene, though.
We do, unfortunately.
No.
But at this point in the story, we can do a bit of a lore update. You can see that Max, who is a person on the far left of the screen right now, has our baby in his hands. And so, gasp. And so that's the person that we've been trying to hunt down all this time, and the person who killed our wife several years ago. And we've unfortunately been captured, and we are about to be arrested. This is another cop whose name I forgot, but it doesn't matter because he'll be dead by the end of the run. It's fine.
That's Crash, I think.
Crash? Is that his name?
Yeah. Not to be confused with the Bandicoot.
Yes, of course not. One of them is a vile beast, and the other one is a cop.
Yeah. Wait, what's the difference?
Oh, you're right. You're right. Exactly. No, the joke I should have made was one of them is a vile beast, and the other one is Crash Bandicoot.
Here's a little flashback to literally right before the intro cutscene.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
Where our wife is still alive and our child is still in our home. But we've now been arrested. And this next section, we're going to kind of like try and be breaking out of prison in order to find Max again. And we're going to have a few help from some of the other inmates that we're in rooms with. And the story does kind of pick up here, I will say. I mean, the story is great up to this point, but it does pick up a lot at this point if you're playing this casually.
Yeah, we're skipping so much of the story here, but honestly, if you're gonna play this game after watching this run for any reason, play it for the story. It's so good.
But anyway, it's now 3 years later. And I'm going to reload the save file because later, after you finish this section, there's been reports of like the game will just stay on like a black screen when you go into like the minecart section, because there's a minecart section. And it's happened to me before, and the way you solve it is by just reloading the game after you do the time skip, because doing like the mountain skip kind of messes with things after the time skip happens. So here we are with 3 inmates, Eli in the top left, Hogue in the top right, and I forgot her name in the bottom right, but she's like the most important character.
Oh no, I don't remember either.
Oh my god.
You guys are the runners of this game!
We were the runners
all
of...
the dialogue.
Listen. We skipped most of the dialogue in this game. We just spammed through it. You think we remember the lore? Oh my god.
True.
Anyway, all of these people come in handy. All these people are important in this speedrun for several reasons. Usually just her would be important. Just she would be important in any percent, but in All Hearts, all 3 of them are important for various reasons that we'll get into later. But she, for some reason, has TNT in her cell. I don't know how she got that there. But we're not going to question things because, you know, a giant tentacle monster is suddenly trying to kill everyone in the mine. So that's really not the worst of our problems right now.
Yeah, we kind of glossed over that, huh? There is a giant tentacle monster on the loose at the moment.
Yeah. And you saw that he just took Eli.
Business as usual, probably.
Yes. Business as usual. And I want you to remember all of these parts later because we're going to come back to it later, but they're going to be a little bit like worse off than what we're seeing right now. But as Plucky mentioned, we do not have access to our Gunbrella right now, and we also don't have access to our clothes. And we have like mountain climbing gear, which means we cannot wall jump in the state that we're in right now, and the clothes that we're in right now. And so we need to be very, very careful because we can't damage enemies and we can't really do anything aside from moving and jumping. Oh no.
Thankfully, because of that safety bed you took earlier, you do have a lot of leeway with how much health you have in this section, so hopefully it won't be so bad. Not nearly as bad as it is at any percent anyway.
Oh, that guy dropped a Gorehound Ball. I hope he stays.
Nice.
Are you kidding me? That was horrible RNG with those bullets. So yeah, you want to attract these guys and have them shoot at floor so they can get rid of the boxes. The ones that shoot down, they kind of zigzag, and I think it's like RNG exactly how they shoot. So unfortunately, we didn't really get that great of RNG there, but it's not really that big of a time loss anyway, so it doesn't matter. That guy's just gonna shoot a grenade at himself for some reason. And right here, we're actually going to be very careful. I'm going to be so in any percent. This character, she offers you the ability to mine a mineral known as crude, which is like we're in the crude mines right now. And so she's like, do you want to steal crude so we can sell it a lot for later? Okay, in any percent, you can just spam through the text, and the default option is like, oh, we're going to steal the crude, we're going to get a lot of money, and then you can use the money for saw blades later in the run, which is really good. That's actively great in any percent. But in All Hearts, unfortunately, you can't do that because you need to choose to not mine the crude, to not steal the crude. Because if you steal the crude, Hogue will die. That is unfortunately because they spend time mining the crude, and then the tentacle monster ends up killing Hogue. And you need Hogue to be... Yes, he did. And so Hogue needs to be alive for the All Hearts run because there's a heart that's attached to him living later in the run. But with that explanation out of the way, we are actually going to go back and get our Gunbrella. We missed you.
Woohoo!
And now we're back at the full range of movement.
There's a funny visual bug where it's behind you.
Yeah, if you spam dialogue there, it just goes up behind you like that. So Plucky, now we're in like another part of the mines here.
I'm not sure if this part is easier or harder, to be honest, because well, you do have your main form of movement and your only form of combat now. The general like difficulty of the platforming and the combat is also going to be much harder from here on out, especially when we get to the minecart section. You'll see what I mean when we get there, but it's usually where a lot of my runs personally go kaput.
Yeah, because there's a bunch of enemies here, and also, God, you have so much health, my goodness. Oh my god, a Gorehound Mount, look at that.
More pelt. More money.
So, unfortunately, the tentacle monster is alive and knows that you're here and will try to kill you on multiple occasions, as we can see there. Nope, there's him making
Oh,
much
it's
noise.
still there. Yes.
Yes, the Gorehound belt is still there. That's one great thing about this game is that if you like leave a room that has spoils in it, you can just grab them later. We're gonna skip this bat because he's slow to kill. So this is a strange part of the game because it pans here. If you steal the crude, there's like a wraith that pops up here, and so the game like pans over, being like, "Oh, the wraith isn't gonna be there because you didn't mine the crude." But then the wraith is just in the next room, so like there's like no ramifications for anything that you do in that particular section.
Well, not in terms of this part of the run, at least.
Yeah, not in terms of this part. But you do get to have Hogue live later. It's nice.
I don't think I've ever made that jump cleanly in a run.
Oh, okay.
So the race just with our current equipment, they just won't die. They, as you see, they will just keep reforming and pursuing us forever. So we have to keep them out of commission as long as possible, so that they don't home in on us.
Okay, let's go through those. And now we're here, and Hogue is alive. Thank goodness, because we didn't. But then the character that asked us to like mine the crude, she's just like, "Oh, we could have probably mined it until had time." No, you wouldn't have. Hogue would have died. Which is nice. Unfortunate for if you're doing any percent, because any percent gives you so much money for those crude.
Yeah, it's $300 total, which buys you pretty much a full inventory of saw blades on its own.
Exactly. All right, wonderful. And now we're going to go into a lot of people's favorite part of the run. One of my favorite parts of the run. It's the minecart section. Woo! Okay. As you can see here, I'm spamming right click and holding right because as you can see, every time you use your umbrella, you gain a little bit more speed. And this section actually is harder than it looks because the enemies don't do the same thing every time, and you need to really make sure that you're not like that you stop before you shoot your umbrella, because if you try to like keep spamming your umbrella and then shoot, it like won't. It like the shoot will be delayed. I'm actually going to purposefully die right here because I have one part.
Don't mind
and
that they just fell through the floor.
Yeah, don't. That happens.
It was actually the fastest way to die, though.
It is the fastest way to die.
Through the floor.
So I'm going to just keep shooting my umbrella here and try to avoid these enemies. Sometimes you can just jump over the tentacles like that instead of having to deal with them directly. Perfect.
Yeah, you're going so fast during the session, the enemies are so tightly packed that you need to actually have good reaction time to deal with them properly and not get hit yourself and potentially die, which can lose a lot of time. And how far you are into the screen. And
you want to make sure that you're not like directly spamming the moment that you change screens, because then what we did on purpose will happen by accident, where like if you immediately start spamming dash, it'll just have you come to the floor.
You will fall through the floor if you are spamming dash as you room transition. But Oz managed to get through that section really cleanly, so all's well.
Perfect. All right. So that's the minecart section. In this, we're actually going to fight the mines boss now. That works in a very unique way. But before we do that, we're actually going to go over here and we're going to grab the mystery steak just in case we need it. We won't.
We definitely just stole a guard's lunch.
Yeah, we did. We're going to grab this bandage right here. Come on, please go through.
Yeah,
there we go.
You auto hop over ledges in the game, so sometimes when you're trying to get down a small gap, it can be a little tricky.
Yes. This particular section right here, you actually do need to pay attention a good amount to, because they will ask you to shoot, and if you spam through this text too fast, like you won't shoot the tentacle the second time, and like your friends will jump over, but then you'll fall down, and then you have to wait for the game to respawn you, and it wastes like a full minute.
Either that, or
Not-
you just slowly wade through the tentacle. That's usually what happens to me.
Yeah,
Either way, it loses time. Not good.
it does. But now here's the boss. Plucky, how does this boss work?
So this boss is going to be crawling up and down the screen, and we can only hit its eye, its big glowing yellow eye, but only when it's open. Sometimes it will close its eye and force us to just dodge its attacks. Unfortunately, it is not possible to beat this boss before it goes into its second attacking phase. So we are going to have to endure 2 of these.
Okay, and yeah, this particular phase is kind of annoying, only because of all of his bubble attacks that he does, which is annoying. This next attack isn't as annoying. It's the bees, but the bees in this state are kind of easy to deal with because you can just stay in the corner and have them go towards you.
Yeah, as you can see, his eyes closed right now. We can't shoot him. His eyes open for a little bit, but then he's up at the top of the screen and does the second bubble attack.
This one is annoying because I can never properly dodge these. Thankfully I did that time, but it's a lot harder than it looks.
It can be, yeah, but now the boss is dead, so it's all good.
Beautiful. All right, so now the boss is dead. We are done with the mines, and now we are back out into the world, into society, 3 years later. And so Hogue will go back to everything is horrible. Hogue will go back to Orwell, and Eli will go back no, I'm sorry. Eli will go back to Orwell. Hogue will go back to Allendale, and we're going to be talking to both of them because both of them will actually be giving us heart pieces later, or half hearts later. Leaving the mines with a even 300 coins, it's great because we can also sell all the spoils that we got in the mines. Before we do that, we're actually going to, before we do anything, we're going to sit through a small cutscene right here where we're going to interact with priest of the base camp church. And so the priest, you could have talked to him before the time skip and like he'll be just a normal priest, but now he's a priest that kills demons. As you can see.
The Doom Priest, if you will.
Exactly. And so we are actually going to go talk to him. And there is Scarlet right here from the beginning of the game. We're going to talk to her later.
You remember Goldenrod?
Yeah, she did. We're going to talk to the priest here. After spamming through all of his dialogue, he's actually going to give us a side quest that allows us to kill a wraith. He's going to give us the holy shells, which is just shells that actually do less damage to regular enemies, but will kill wraiths instantly.
Hey Oz.
Yeah.
Do we have time for a quick donation?
Yeah, we certainly do. Yeah.
We have a $20 donation from Nivsky, with just a heart for the little comment. Thank you so much for that donation, Nivsky. And actually, that donation puts us only $17 away from hitting $2,000. I would love to see us hit the $2,000 mark by the end of the night. Like I said, only $17 away from getting that. So to get your donations in as soon as possible by doing exclaim donate in the chat to get the direct link to Happy Bear's Ko-Fi page to make a donation.
Thank you so much, Fox. So after that, you saw that we killed the Wraith, and you needed to kill the Wraith so that Scarlet will give you the side quest because she sees that you killed the Wraith, and she's like, "Oh, can you help me with killing more Wraiths later?" But she says it in like a more nonchalant tone because she's scarred and jaded because like the love of her life died. And so I am instead of going to Orwell right now, I'm going to go in a bit, but first and foremost, I'm actually going to go to Allendale because we need to buy more saw blades. And unfortunately, there's really no other way. So here is the merchant that we gave the gem to at the beginning of the run. And he is going to sell us a bunch of saw blades that we need right now. You can also see that he sells a half heart that we're going to need for later. But we don't have time to buy it right now. We need to save up money for saw blades instead. And now we're going to go to Orwell. All right. So
This is definitely the part of the run that diverges most from any percent.
it does. It definitely does. In any percent, you would just go straight to the processing plant right now. But before we go to the processing plant, we do have to do 2 side quests. We're going to go to the left over here to do the first side quest with Eli, who we met in the prison. Eli, his son Ollie, who we actually met earlier in the run, is lost. And while we're on the way to find Ollie, we're actually going to kill a bunch of wraiths here because Scarlet's side quest actually requires that you kill 16 wraiths. And we do kill 16 wraiths, but not in like the way that the game kind of wants us to. My goodness. Thank God.
You went under the ground a lot there. That was unfortunate.
Yeah, he went. Yeah, if he does that attack, that's kind of annoying, honestly. We're gonna go out of our way to get some more wraiths killed here. There's 3 that can be killed. All right. Kill 1 more. There's another wraith. Oh, you're underground, please. I'm gonna go up here. So each wraith you can have to kill. You have to shoot twice so that you can get off their like outer shell and then kill them again. Shoot them again and then kill them. And here's Ollie. We're going to bring Ollie with us and go back to Eli. When was the last time that you played any of these side quests, Plucky?
Probably my first casual playthrough. It's been a long time.
It certainly has been for a lot of people. Thankfully, this particular section, carrying a child, the second part where you carry a child in this game, for some reason it does allow you to use your Gunbrella. The first one didn't, I don't know why. But Eli will now give us a half heart for saving his son. All right, yep. Beautiful. And now we're going.
Those left to go.
Yeah, not too many. Only a few more, matter of fact. So only 3 more. And so we're going to meet Scarlet up here. She told us to meet us in the Cult 45 hideout. And I'm actually going to save because we're going to do another saw blade clip. And this particular one is, in my opinion, the hardest one to do. Because if you it's very easy to mess up if you're not very particular about it. We're going to lodge ourselves right here. Instead of talking to Scarlet, we're going to just... There we go, perfect. And we still have 25.
Good. Yeah, good.
We still have 25, which is exactly the amount that I would like. We're going to kill these wraiths.
So normally, to get past that locked door, you would have to kill 16 wraiths before actually even getting there, so that Scarlet will go through the door. But we can also just clip inside and get this side quest done much earlier.
Yes. With that being said, you do still need to kill 16 wraiths because you do need to exit the cult hideout. And if you don't kill 16 wraiths, the door will just be blocked, and you're going to be soft locked and you can't leave.
Yeah, but there's a lot of wraiths in here.
There is a lot of wraiths in here, and killing all of the wraiths in Orwell, combined with killing all the wraiths in the hideout, add up to exactly 16.
And there it is.
And there, yeah. And so now Goldenrod. The spirit of Goldenrod will appear in like a wraith. And
don't worry about it.
Scarlet will get a little bit of closure in her life because of out of Goldenrod's death, where she gets a golden apple. And she finds out like killing wraiths just won't do anything for her anymore, and she tries to seek out a better life from here on out. So as she leaves, she's gonna leave us another half heart.
Hey Oz?
Yeah?
Do we have time for another donation?
Of course we do.
We have a $7 donation from Gabby, getting that total a little bit closer to that $2,000 mark. I have a proposal. Hat Bear for the Wind Waker name of the file. Thank you so much for that donation, Gabby. And speaking of the Wind Waker bid war that has now been updated, Yim Yam is still in the lead with $30, and Hat Bear now has $7. That is the second run of tomorrow, so you still have time to change it. Change the tides of that bid war. Of course, you can do that by donating your money. And remember, if you want to donate towards an incentive, to include what incentive you are donating towards in your donation comment so we can make sure your money is going to the right place.
All right, thank you so much, Fox. We're going to talk to the merchant again, and we're going to sell everything: the mystery steak, the 2 cornhound pals, and the hawk's leg, and the bandage as well, because I'm ballsy like that. And then we're going to fill up on saw blades again. Thankfully, we do have enough saw blades to do all of the clips that we need to do, and enough money to buy more saw blades to do all the clips that we need to do in the processing plant that we're about to go into. But first, before we do that, we're going to go into the speakeasy, and we're going to talk to Hogue. And because the owner of the speakeasy, the bartender at the speakeasy, Barb, is Hogue's sister. And Barb will give us a half heart for not killing Hogue in the mines.
And that's why we didn't do that.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to grab this. Come on. Yeah. All right, wonderful. And that means we only have 1 heart to go, but we're actually going to reserve it for much, much later in the run, almost towards the end of the run. But we need to do the processing plant first. So we're going to be doing 1 clip right here. After this door. And let's see if we do it. Oh, no, wait, no, I can't. No, I'm not doing that. I'm sorry. No, unfortunately, I lost the speed there. Thankfully, it just loads us directly out of Allendale. We will have to get the half heart again, but that's not too much of an issue. But I did mess up on the jumping there, and so if you do that, you do need at least 20 saw blades going in. And so we're gonna again sell everything we had.
Yeah, you pretty much need to stick to the wall as much as possible there to make the clip work. And use as few saw blades as possible, because we do need more saw blades after that clip for a different clip.
We do. Okay, we're going to grab the half heart once more. Fox, we're getting back to where we were going to go. If you want to say a quick blurb or something, you can. Let's see here. All right. Gonna grab hearts. Perfect. And go back. Beautiful.
So what this clip saves is mainly a lot of cutscenes that would normally be required to get that door open normally, including getting Marl out of prison.
Yes.
But we can thankfully just go right past it because it's super thin. And
there we go.
Make our way. Yeah, nice. Yeah, make our way into the processing plant early, which is a pretty late game area.
Yeah, it is a pretty late game area. We've tried to theory craft if you could clip into this area before the time skip. The answer is kind of.
You can get into this area, but you can't go to the processing plant, sadly.
No, unfortunately. But here's the thing: if you try to clip into the area that we were just in before this train, there is a cutscene that will play that is only a post time skip cutscene, but the actual entrance to this train will never be there because it's only accessible after the time skip. The game has a flag that is set for this area to be available only after the time skip, which is unfortunate. But now we're at the train. Plucky, is there what's on this train? What's so cool about this train?
A lot of Cult 45 members who are gonna try and kill us because they're still around somehow, even after we raided their base and destroyed everything they had.
Exactly.
There's also a lot of crude, as you can see. Crude is in lore a very valuable resource, kind of the source of all the energy. And the world is running very thin of it.
Exactly. I'm gonna kill all these Cult 45 members, so hopefully they give us good drops, give us good money. A little bit. No, that one fell. We especially want to kill these guys, the guys that aren't directly shooters, because they'll like throw a ball at us that will hone in on us, and so that's just the most annoying.
It can chase you across the entire room and these rooms are long.
Exactly. All right, perfect. All right, and now we're going to fight Mama. This is actually one of the hardest fights in the game.
It's
but there is a quick
tough.
kill. We got the quick kill.
Woo! Quick kill!
Right.
Yeah!
That's the Mama fight. For some reason, the game just doesn't want you to fight Mama, and Mama just ends up killing herself.
Yeah, there is no boss fight. Oops.
Which is nice. It would have been cool to see what Mama's fight would have been, but it is nice in the speedruns because you don't have to deal with it. But now we're in the processing plant. What does the processing plant have in store for us, Plucky?
Oh, the processing plant's gonna have a lot of new enemies that are very dangerous and very tanky, some of them. And we're gonna be required to fight a lot of them because this is gonna lock us, like in here, it's gonna lock us in the room and force us to kill all the enemies a lot. Thankfully, there are a lot of parts of this that we can skip making use of saw blades, though. So we are really only gonna do maybe about like 60 to 70% of the whole process plant, like this clip here. We are going to skip. Normally in the processing plant, you would have to turn on the conveyor belts, the pulley system, and the crushers. We are really only going to be turning on the crushers.
Conveniently, there is actually a store in here, and I'm actually going to try and buy a bunch of saw blades. I don't know if I have enough.
Almost like they knew.
I have 48. Okay, yeah, I have enough. So we're gonna use the saw blades like that, and we do have enough.
The saw blades, by the way. Yeah, you can use the backwards momentum to also just fly. That's the only time we do it in this particular run, but it's cool.
That's true. We're gonna get the sticky bombs, and we need to kill like all the enemies, because the sticky bombs will come in use later, and we also want good money and good drops. As you can see here, all of these like conveyors that are here, and like all of the chains that you see, they're all supposed to be moving, but unfortunately, we skipped pretty much 2 full sections of the game where we didn't activate the conveyor belts and we didn't activate the pulley system. And the game actually does check if you do those things, and so which means none of the pulleys will be activated. Now, come on.
Yeah, the nice thing is that the whole of processing plant is still completely doable, even if you do skip turning those on, even though it's not intended for you to skip that. So it's a very nice convenience for us.
It is. This is another room where you do have to kill all the enemies before you leave. Including this guy.
By the way, is on the right is the reason that we still have to turn on the crushers.
Yes, exactly. This guy will give me a spring. Unfortunately, not. I'm not getting good drops with these guys. I'm gonna have to sell like a lot of stuff to really afford the half heart piece. There's another room where you gotta kill the enemies. These guys are like snipers. The flamethrower guys aren't too deadly, and then the sticky bomb enemies are probably the worst. The worst in terms of like they're the ones that are more likely to get you and hurt you, but they're actually the best because the sticky bombs are going to be becoming real useful later in the run.
We're gonna need as many sticky bombs as possible.
All right, now we've activated the crushers, which allows us to get to the rest of this area, kill the rest of these enemies. Here we go. All right. Thankfully, that container, that flammable container, just killed that enemy for us. And now we're gonna go across. I do think there's a way you can get through here before that goes down.
I've done it. It's really tight, like probably nearly frame perfect to get there on time.
I don't doubt that at all. I'm going to save right here because I'm scared.
Yeah, we have
and I don't-
another boss fight upcoming, I believe. Which do we have enough saw blades to skip it? I don't think so.
we do have enough Scalblades to skip it.
Oh, we do.
Like,
Okay, then we're
we
not
have,
fighting
like-
the boss. Ignore what I said.
we have like 36 Scalblades, but it's more than enough.
Oh, yeah.
However, unfortunately, there's another boss after that.
Yeah, true. This section also can be pretty dangerous with all the turrets and whatnot.
All right. You don't want to fall on like the acid because if you fall on the acid, you have to start this whole section over again.
So at the end of the process of plant, there is essentially a gauntlet of 2 boss fights in a row, but thankfully we have enough saw blades that we only need to fight one of them. We can just skip the other one.
And even then, the second boss is really quick. If you have another object that we've also been doing, which is flamethrower fuel.
Yeah.
That these flamethrower guys obviously drop. And so we're gonna be going here, getting more sticky bombs from these guys. That one's gonna get hit here. These are idiots. All right.
Nice
More
job.
money.
That drone blew up the wall in your way.
And now we're going to be getting the shipping label, because the reason we're supposed to be going into the processing plant is because we're going to be shipped off to Avalon in a container, and the container needs a shipping label. So all of this for like a shipping label.
Yeah, Avalon, for the record, is a big city, a big paradise city, and it's where Max is currently. We need to go and rough him up good.
We do. All right, so this is the first boss. The hole puncher. We are going to skip him, but we do need to spam through some text here. And we're going to skip him the way we've been skipping everything in this game, with saw blades.
Yeah, there should be no surprises there. I mean, there's a wall on the right, goes directly into a loading zone.
Right.
You know how it is.
Oh, no! Oh, I got hit.
Ooh,
I got hit,
oh, no.
Which canceled my speed, but it's fine. That's the reason I saved.
It's okay.
Unfortunately,
it's not a huge time loss.
It's not a huge time loss. We just got to spam through this text again. But yeah, if you get hit by that enemy, unfortunately, getting hit does lower your speed. It has to come to like a screeching halt. And so we're going to try it again, but we're going to go here a little bit faster. And no! Oh, okay, that worked.
Yeah.
I didn't think that was going to work.
Going up into the ceiling there is actually how I usually do that, because
Really? I stay towards the floor.
Yeah, you tend to be able to avoid the shots that way. Speaking of avoiding shots, this guy's not gonna do that.
Yeah. So the moment we're gonna spam through this text, he's talking about Avalon, and she's like, "Look at Avalon." By the time we like fight him, Avalon is way already in this. So we're actually going to burn him with flamethrower fuel, because flamethrower fuel does so much damage to him. Just look at his bar.
Also stun locks him, so he really can't get out of it unless like you start missing, which unfortunately a little bit did happen there. You can kill that boss as quickly as like 3 seconds if like you make sure everything is correct.
Yeah, if he doesn't move at all.
It is really tricky.
It's incredibly tricky to do, but if he doesn't move at all, like it's like almost an insta kill. But thankfully we did get it. So the boss, that cop is now dead. He crashed with the platform. We're thankfully still alive because someone saved us. But now we're gonna go to Avalon, but we're gonna find Max. But before we do that, we have one more half heart to get. We have very limited money, but we do need to get it. If I have to somehow go into Allendale Wilds to like grind for more spoils, I will. But we're hoping that I don't need to do that. We're gonna sell all the flamethrower fuel. We just need 250. Come on.
Yeah, the flamethrower fuel is no longer needed. It was
We're gonna sell
the balloon boss.
We're gonna sell all of the rifle rounds, and we're gonna sell some of the sticky bombs. And then we buy Vitality upgrade. Yes, I'm actually going to sell a few more sticky bombs here, because I'm gonna sell like, and then I'm gonna buy one more set of saw blades. Saw blades. How many do I have now? 18. Oh, I can't afford any to sell anymore. We're gonna have to do the elevator sequence. It's fine. Which is unfortunate. But typically, if you have enough money, you can buy more saw blades, and the saw blades will allow you to skip another section in Avalon called the elevator sequence. It doesn't really like it saves like 30 seconds, which in a run long isn't that much. Like it's fine, but it is unfortunate that we don't get to skip it, especially since we're like so close to getting the amount of saw blades we need.
That was tragic.
However, there are certain enemies in Avalon that do drop saw blades, and so theoretically, if we're really really lucky, we could still technically skip it if the enemies are fortunate enough to drop them. But you do need at least like 14 or so sticky bombs, typically more. But with all the weaponry that you have, like around 15 is enough. And so that's just unfortunate that we can't afford to sell more. But that being said, it's fine. However, we are here at Avalon, or we're on the way to Avalon, but before we get into the real meat of Avalon.
Sorry, I've been asked to ask you if you can pause.
Pause.
Yes.
What seemed to happen?
I think we're having technical difficulties with the stream.
Ooh, me.
Yes, we are.
That seems to be on my end. I don't know what happens. Let me know.
While we have a quick moment, I am going to take advantage of this to announce that we have another donation. We have a $10 donation from Yami Florence. Let's round out that number to an even 2,000. Put this towards the name Yim Yam for Wind Waker. That Wind Waker bid war. I can speak, I promise. It is my job to speak. I hope I can speak. That Wind Waker bid war is now at $40 for Yim Yam and $7 for Hat Bear. That is the second run of tomorrow. And I don't know how much more of this run we have left, but if you still want to donate toward that specific bid war, that's going to be open through the entirety of the Skyward Sword run tomorrow morning. So if you want to donate towards that, you could do that now or in the morning when we get started up for the final day of the marathon. Speaking of Skyward Sword, we still have the bid war open for that file name. Currently, Mortgage is winning with $178, and Yim Yam is in second place with $30. That one is closing at the start of Skyward Sword, which is the first run of tomorrow. So if you want to get any last minute donations in on that, now is the time to do that. Remember, you can do !donate in the chat to get the donations in. And if you want to donate towards an incentive, to include that in your donation comment so we make sure they go to the right place. Thank you for holding tight with us through these technical issues.
Thankfully, it didn't happen at the worst time. The part of the run we were in is very
we appreciate all of you holding tight with us while we work on these technical issues. While we are here, I would like to inform everyone of the fact that we still have one more day of the marathon, and we have plenty of runs for you tomorrow. We have the 2 Zelda runs that we've been talking about with those bid wars. Those are the first 2 runs of the day, but we still have other runs, including Sticky Business, Stardew Valley, and Super Metroid, and Super Mario Bros. We have plenty of other runs as well. Those are just a couple of them that we have to feature, and we appreciate every single one of you for being here with us, hanging tight with us. There are a lot of people who make these events possible, and we appreciate every single one of our donors, staff members, those of us here who you might hear on the mic, and those of us behind the scenes who make these events possible, and you, the donors and chatters who hang out with us and make this possible so that we can help support Happy Bear and and making her life better. Ultimately, that is what we're here doing. And so we really appreciate you sitting tight with us and sitting tight with me while we get these issues figured out. And a quick update on the donation side. We have officially hit $2,000. That is an amazing total to have hit so far. That is a significant amount that I am sure will make Happy Bear lives so much better. We appreciate every single cent you have donated. And with that, we look like we are ready to go again. And we are going to hand it back to Oz and get back to the run.
Welcome back,
Hey.
everyone.
Hello. We are good. We left off exactly where we saw our protagonist. There's absolutely nothing wrong. So we are now going to Avalon, the paradise city that Plucky mentioned earlier, where Max is. And we have a bit of a cutscene to get through. And you're gonna see in Avalon, it's like all fine and dandy and pretty. But of course, the members of Avalon are talking about this ritual that's supposed to take place tonight, and asking if everyone's gonna go. And this ritual will affect Max and us and our daughter that Max has. We're just gonna spam through some text here, and we don't have our Gunbrella because like that's like walking around there's a populated city with just a gun pointing at everyone.
Yeah.
And so
Thankfully, because we have the gun, everyone mistakes us for a cop because those guns are normally only issued to cops.
exactly, specifically the Gunbrellas, because if you saw earlier, the cops that we killed, one of the cops that we killed had a Gunbrella themselves, which is like a military and law enforcement weapon. And so there are 2 brothers right here. One of them works in the lab down in Avalon Industries, and they're going to be becoming important here. What else is there to say about Avalon, Lucky? that you get to mention?
Unfortunately, this section of the run is pretty slow because, like Oz mentioned, we don't have the Gunbrella, so we have to go everywhere on foot. And there's also, but thankfully, unlike the mines, there's not really any danger involved in that. It's also a very peaceful area. Basically, we need to get to the underground labs, for reasons. And to do that, we need an access card. So we're gonna talk to this guy and hopefully maybe convince him to give us his access card.
Yes. We saw earlier there the two brothers. You have to remember that after you talk to this guy, you have to go talk to your brother again, because I will often forget and just go straight to the bushes where they have their conversation instead of
triggering.
Yeah, it happened in my PB. I'm just like, oh, I forgot. That's a free 20-second time save for later, because it does. If you go all the way there and then all the way back, it does waste around 20 seconds because this particular section is very long. It's also the only area that like loops back in around itself. If you keep going to the right, you're just gonna loop back over to the building. Like the only area that does that for some reason. But here we're in these bushes. We need to spam through this cutscene where we reveal we are not a cop. And the lab member fortunately is very gracious enough to give us his access card to the laboratories because we need to figure out what's going on down there. Also, we're going to be fighting another boss down in the laboratory, which is the second cop that we saw earlier.
The not Bandicoot one.
Yeah, the not Bandicoot one, exactly. All right, so there we go. There is the access key, and all you have to do is go through here. And you're gonna see me save before this boss. I don't typically save in runs if I have this much health. But one thing. Oh no!
Oh no! That was the wrong dialogue option.
That was the wrong dialogue option. Typically, I have my mouse over the dialogue option here. But that's why you don't want to spam too much.
It's gonna
there you go, laboratory
be a small
one.
time loss, unfortunately.
A small time loss, like 5 seconds. It's fine. But we're gonna go here. Perfect. And go back. I'm going to save only because this next boss fight is actually incredibly particular. To the point where like if you like do anything differently, the boss manipulation that you do will kind of mess up.
Yeah, everything that Crash does here is based on your proximity to him, essentially.
Exactly. I'm going to let once we like skip the cutscene that's associated with Crash. Once we spam through that, I'm gonna let Plucky take over on the commentary just to focus on like a bit of more intricate details about Crash in this fight, because it does require a good bit of focus, especially since you're so far into the run. This particular box manipulation does save a lot of time, but right here, Crash is just like, he's talking about Avalon and the purpose of Avalon and like what they're meant to be doing, and kind of like realizing that we're not who we say we are. And then we realize they're experimenting on babies, because there's just a bunch of babies in vats back here. But yeah, I would go more into detail, but we don't have time. Instead, we're gonna fight, and Plucky, you can take over on exactly what I'm doing here, and how I'm manipulating Crash.
Yep. So basically, Crash has a few main attacks. He has this one where he will shoot at you from a distance, which he will only do if you're far away. But then he also has the one where he jumps over your head and shoots at you from above, which he will only do close. He has another attack where he like will charge at you and ram into the wall and drop bombs, but that's really slow. We don't want that to happen. So generally, the pattern we're gonna be following here is like get shots on him, back up so he does the far range attack, and move close while we reflect his shots back at him, and then like wait for him to jump, reflect his shots again, rinse and repeat. If you mess up the movement during this fight, it is very possible that he will just do the wrong attack and you will have a much slower fight. It is especially bad if, like I said, he does a charge attack and drops a lot of bombs on your head. because he is mostly like very hard to hit during that, and we don't want that.
All right, that was perfect.
Yeah, that was an example of a perfect crash fight.
Yeah.
Good job.
Exactly. Thank you. That was perfect. And so you want to do that pretty much every time you do crash. And now we're going to leave. These are the enemies that could or could not drop saw blades. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. If they conveniently drop some, I will be so happy, because that might mean we have enough to skip the elevator sequence. No, but they dropped a sticky bomb instead. I mean, it's helpful, but still.
It's not a weird thing they could have done.
And rifle rounds. That's fine. So unfortunately, that does mean I'm going to save here, actually, because I've only done this very sparsely. We do need to do the elevator sequence because we don't have enough saw blades to clip through.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna check that we don't.
Given us saw blades, you can just clip out of the wall. Maybe go for it. No.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! Oh, that is.
I did not.
That is so hard to do that clip with only 19. Normally you need like at least 20 or 22 or something like that. 19 is an insane amount to get that clip on.
Yeah, I did not think that was gonna work at all.
If Ozmourn missed that clip, he would have to fight in the elevator for approximately like 30 seconds.
Yeah, it was so good. I did not think that was gonna work at all.
That was crazy.
Oh my goodness. All right, we're gonna collect 2 grenades, and we're gonna go through these enemies right here. I'm so happy that worked. I did not think that was gonna work.
That was awesome.
Oh my god. My goodness. But now here's Max, yeah, and here's our daughter over here. And so Max is here like, what are you gonna do? Like, I've been her father her whole life, even though she's only like 4. And he's like, she's all she's known as me. She doesn't even know who you are. What are you gonna do? Shoot me in front of your daughter? That's exactly what we're gonna do. We're gonna shoot him in front of our daughter.
We are shooting him in front of our daughter.
Yeah. Boom. He's just like, what are you gonna do? Kill me? I'm like, yeah, we are. That's exactly what we're here to do. We're gonna grab another grenade right here. And Fox, say anything. You have like a minute.
This cutscene's really long. Go ahead.
This is the last time.
Yes, I am speaking. Oh, you sound like you're gonna shoot me, not them. Anyway, I honestly do not have a lot to say except y'all should come back because this is the last run of the night. Y'all should come back tomorrow. We still have a full day worth of runs for you. We are starting at 12 p.m. Eastern. That is, I don't know what Pacific. Figure that out yourself. I don't know anyone who lives on the West Coast.
9 a.m. It's 9 a.m. Pacific.
No, okay. Just yes, please
Beautiful.
come. We have plenty of more runs for you. We still have donations and bid wars and all sorts of fun stuff for you tomorrow. Really excited for that.
All right. No worries.
Yeah,
All
there
right.
you go.
Thank you. All right. So, Max pushes our daughter almost off of the roof. She comes to us. He dies on the spot, and then suddenly he gets possessed by a bunch of spirits and gets turned into a demon. And this boss has a really nice quick kill. There's a reason that we grabbed all of those grenades. We're going to shoot the grenades. 1, 2,
Make sure you don't hit those.
3, and then we're gonna shoot a bunch of sticky bombs at him. We're gonna pretty much waste all the sticky bombs, and they're gonna go off immediately. And time is gonna come up in like just a few seconds.
Time is on the final hit of the boss.
I'm just gonna shoot. That should be fine. And it's time. That's it.
Woo!
Fantastic.
Beautiful. All right. So yeah, that was Gunbrella All Hearts. We saw pretty much every skip in this run, thankfully. I had exactly the amount. I have literally like the bare minimum amount that you can use in this run to perform all of the skips. We got everything. We got all 8 hearts. When you're playing casually, please give the gem to Stuart. But if you're in the marathon, of course, if you're doing a marathon run or a speed run, you have to give it to the merchant. But yeah, unfortunately, we do die.
Murray does not make it out of this fight alive.
Murray doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't. Unfortunately, we did kill Max, but Murray just dies right there. And our daughter then ends up grabbing the Gunbrella and just flying away.
Nice.
This whole ending hit me really hard first time I played. I have to admit.
Yeah, it does. I will
Do you have any
say.
shoutouts?
I do have some shoutouts. I will say though, there is a secret ending in this game, and so I'm not going to spoil what it is, but just to let you know, I didn't spoil everything there is to know about this run. There's also weapon upgrades. There's also different side quests that I didn't do. There's much of lore stuff that you can discover that we didn't go over. So if you're like seeing this game and you're like, I want to play it, but I feel like I might be spoiled, there's a lot we didn't go into. There's a lot more stuff to do.
This game is wonderful. Honestly, one of my favorite games of this year. And even though you've seen a lot of the game in this run, you should still play it because there's lots you haven't seen, and it's a fantastic game.
Great. Literally one of like the most unique speedruns that I've had in quite a long time. Definitely outside of my wheelhouse, but I think that's what I love the most about it. And shout outs to DoinkSoft for being incredibly supportive of the speedrunning community behind their games, and for making such a great speedrun. And so yeah, that's all that I have to say in terms of DoinkSoft in this game. Go buy it. I believe it's $20 on Steam? Question mark?
It's something around that. It's not expensive, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I also do believe that it's on Epic Games and also GOG. And do you know if it's on any consoles currently?
I believe that this game is available on the Nintendo Switch. Yes.
Yes.
So if you don't have if you don't feel like you have the best PC, or you just prefer playing games on Switch, you can play this game on Switch.
Yeah, it's true. And this game is actually cheaper than I thought. It's $15 on Steam.
Honestly, a steal.
Yeah, with the amount of game that you have here, it's honestly a steal. And so yeah, $15 on Steam, GOG, or Epic Games, or on Nintendo Switch. So yeah, that's all that I have to do about like pushing this game and vamping about it. For me personally, my Twitch is Ozmourn. I stream on there once in a blue moon. I'm very active on Twitter as well. I'm going to be running 2 games at Awesome Games Done Quick 2023. I'll try to submit this for the second submission period and see if we can make it 3. I highly doubt it, but I want to see this game ran under GDQ, so I'm going to try. And so with that being said, that's all for me. Plucky, do you have any shots you want to make? Any self-promos?
First of all, I want to shout out the entire Gunbrella speedrunning community. You guys are amazing, and it's been so much fun playing this game alongside you guys, and you too, Ozmourn, of course, a part of that. And for myself, I don't really stream on Twitch, but at the moment, I am pretty active on Twitter at Plucky_Star. I do art, I do game development, and that's pretty much it. Not much else to say.
All right, and thank you so much for being here, Plucky. I think the run was a lot of fun with you on Column, so I thank you greatly for being here.
Thank you so much for inviting me. This was a blast.
Of course. And I hope you guys enjoyed the marathon debut of Gunbrella. I'm part of the organizational team for this marathon, so I have to say, come and donate towards Hattie Bear, helping her out with this very difficult time in her life. We're gonna be back tomorrow, 12 p.m. Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. We got a lot of good runs tomorrow, and hopefully, I think we can get upwards of over 3,000 by the time we're done with this. So I would love to see that. I would love to see that.
I believe. 100%.
Thanks, Oz, for stealing my thunder.
Of course.
You're doing my job for me. It's all right. We're all tired. We all need to go to bed. But before we do, we are going to head to a quick break so we can do some quick sign-offs, and then we will head to bed. Thank you so much for running this game for us, Oz, and being here for comms, Plucky. Like I said, we're going to head to a quick break, and we will sign off.